So, hello and welcome to a yoga session. So we're going to take it really easy, as this is advertised as beginner's yoga. So we're going to just do a simple postures today, but I would like to say a few words. I'm not going to bore you too much because there's a lot of information on social media about yoga and the benefits. Just a few words how yoga works and help us to keep ourselves healthy. So yoga is beneficial for our physical, mental well-being. So how does it work physically? So it supports our muscular system. So it works on our muscles, stretches, lengthening our ligaments, joints. Holding postures makes you strong and flexible. There's different postures that address different parts of the body, but working one posture doesn't mean you just work your hip area, you work your other part of your body. So this is so good about yoga. So that's our physical side. It's different to different exercises because yoga we learn to breathe. It's different techniques in yoga. So when you practice yoga, you breathe consciously and you're aware of your body, so it makes you more present and mindful. Therefore, there's a benefits, mental benefits. So it calms balances our emotions. It taps into our nervous system, which it's called parasympathetic system, which is responsible for the rest and repair of our body. So we're able to rest, relax, and relieve stress. And as we all know, stress can be the bad guy for anything occurring in our body, not just physical, but obviously mental. Also helps our digestive system through the postures when we turn and twist through bends. We obviously massaging our internal organs, which is really beneficial for our digestion. Also other benefits, because we learn to breathe and we stay present with the breath during the practice, it'll help us to use our respiratory system to the most of its capacity. So it also helps our circulation and our heart. And I think that's about it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start the session. There's different techniques of breathing, but we're going to start with the basic one because it's quite difficult to learn through the different techniques of breathing. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to not spend too long, but we're going to start from on our back. So in yoga, what we're trying to do, breathe through our abdomen. So breathe through our belly. So when you're breathing just from the upper chest, you're not really breathing properly to the best of your, you're not using your lungs. So the best way to learn to belly breathe is come onto your back. So we're just going to spend a couple of moments doing that. So if you come to your back, place your hands on your lower abdomen. You can rest the elbows to the sides. And then as you inhale, try to inhale. I know it's difficult, it's not going to happen just now if you're not used to it. So try to inhale from your abdomen. So when you place your fingers on your lower abdomen, the fingers will lift. So the belly will lift, the fingers will separate. So you're breathing from your abdomen, then it comes to your rib cage, to your upper chest. As you exhale, the reverse happens, so the belly should go down. So the fingers will kind of overlap. So let's just try this for a couple of moments. So inhale, try to expand your belly. So breathe from your belly. As you exhale, release it down. So take a nice, deep, slow breaths. And then exhale. So let's breathe maybe in a count to 4 for an equal breath. Inhale, expand the belly. And then exhale, release. So as if you were contracting slightly your abdomen with exhalation, the belly goes down. So it allows the air to move up into your chest. So anytime you stress, you can just come down on a mat, you can come on a carpet, on a floor, anywhere you feel comfortable, and then just practice the breathing a little bit, so slow breath. Very beneficial for us. Also, you can, when you practice, you can even place a book as well. That will help the resistance to actually learn to breathe through your abdomen. Okay, so you can always have a practice at home. So that's the idea, basically, that's the first breath I've introduced to you. So we're going to start, now we're coming to our knees. As we come to our knees, spread our fingers. So any postures that we do in tabletop, or other postures that require extending legs, so make sure you spread your fingers and contact the mat. So really spread the fingers and place the top of your back of your fingers to the mat. So you're creating like a slight suction. You'll learn with time, your fingers will spread more, allow you to practice. Knees hip apart. We're going to start first with the inhalation. We're going to hollow our back. So lift the tailbone up, lift the chest, lift the heart. Pressing through the palms. Then as we exhale, we're going to look down and bring the hips down towards our heels. To a child's pose. As we inhale, we're going to come back to a tabletop. Inhale again. Lengthen through the spine and hollow your back. So lift the tailbone up. Lift the heart. Exhale, back down. Slow exhalation. Let's do this one more time. Lift. Inhaling. Hollow your back. And exhale. Gently bringing the hips down towards the heels. Now, if your hips are really tight, you might not be able to come all the way down. Don't worry about this. Or you might not be able to rest the forehead down. That will happen with time. Come back to a tabletop. So we're going to practice cat and cow to start with. So we're focusing on our spine today. And flexion. And we're going to do a bend as well, which it will actually move the spine into a lateral position. So let's inhale now. Hollow our back to a cow pose. And then we press through our palms of our hands. We're going to arch our back. So the opposite happens. The tailbone comes under. You look down, chin to chest. So we're flexing our spine. We're going to stay in the tabletop in all four, and we're going to breathe this way. So inhale, lift the chest, hollow your back. And then exhale again, arch your back. So with the inhalation, lifting the chest. With the exhalation, we're going to arch our spine, tuck the tailbone in, exhale, really pressing with our palms. So we're exhaling completely, slow. Inhale again. And then exhale. Bringing the spine back to neutral. Going to follow now with a little bit of balance. So staying as we are in the posture, we're going to extend our right leg back. So reach back with your leg. Keep the spine long, and the back of your neck is a part of your spine. So try not to lift the head, creation extra tension. So looking down is best. Now let's see if we can extend our opposite arm. So if this is really hard for you, you can always just practice with just the leg extended, or you can tap down with your toes if you're finding really hard the balance. So make sure your wrists are straight down from the shoulders. So really paying attention to your core. bring the belly in. And then release. Let's try on the opposite side. Extend the opposite leg, reach back. Really lengthen. Reach with your toes. Try to keep the weight even on your hands, on your wrist. And then extend the opposite arm. Contract your abdomen. And then release. Let's do this a couple of more times. Opposite arm and opposite leg extends. You can always tap down with your toes if you find it really hard for balance. And then release. Opposite side. Release. So we're staying for a couple of breaths in each extension. Release. One more time. Release on the opposite side. And then release. Now we can come to a child's pose again, but this time we're going to take our knees wider apart to the edge of the mat so your toes can meet together. This will help open the hip area a little bit more. So easing down your hips towards the heels, settling down, rocking the hips from side to side. Now the child's pose you can do rather with your arms forward, bringing the chest close to the mat. Resting the forehead down. If you find it really hard, then you can stay on your forearms. If your hips are really tight, then you might not be able to take the hips all the way down. So just work with what you can. So your arms can extend forward, but you can also take the arms back, resting on your forehead. Or you could cross your arms in front of you and just simply rest the forehead down. And then slowly release it back. Come back to your tabletop, bring the knees hip apart. And then just step forward. So we're going to practice some standing basic postures, which helps us align our body and helps us with a proper with the posture, with the alignments. So we're going to rock. If I just turn to the side, rock the body weight from heels to toes. So paying attention to your feet, firmly spreading them on a mat. So each corner of your foot, it's in contact with the mat. Then we're going to lengthen through the spine. Lift the shoulders, place the arms along the side of your body. Lengthen through the back of your neck as well, so the chin is parallel to the mat. Now here, we try to point the tailbone down, so we don't have this exaggerated curve in our back. Now we can soften the knees a little bit, bend the knees, but then straighten them. This will activate this big muscle running here, from the knee to the hip area. So you can feel it how you straight away you feel stronger. So standing straight, it can be quite, well, challenging, I suppose, because how often we can just stand where our shoulders are down, chest is not lifted. So straight away, our posture improves, but also our mood, the way we carry ourselves. So you can practice the standing posture, mountain pose or Tadasana. You can bring the big toes together and have the heels slightly out. This opens the hip area as well a little bit. You can bring the arms forward, palms of your hands forward. Make your fingers active. Take a nice deep breath and lengthen. Then you can step your feet slightly apart. We're going to raise our arms and stretch, reach up to an upward salute. So you can place the palms together. Look towards your thumbs, so lifting the chin slightly. And then we're going to exhale, raise, lower our arms. We're going to raise again. This time we're going to interlace our fingers and press the palms up. And maybe even come to our toes. And then release. Release our arms, lift the shoulders up and back. Let's raise our arms again. Interlace our fingers. Keeping our core strong, so being aware of our body, we're going to twist to the side. So keep your core strong, protecting your lower back. Keep your arms straight along the side of your ears. So again, we're targeting the spine. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale back to the center and then exhale the opposite way. So try to keep your shoulder back so we're not bringing forward, so the chest is open. And then back to the center. Release the arms, lift the shoulders up and back. Place your hands on your lower back. Going to do a standing back bend. So draw the elbows towards one another so the shoulder blades coming together, closer. Press the hips forward, open the chest, lift the heart, and maybe look slightly towards the sky. And then slowly release. Lift the shoulders up and back again. Make circles with your arms to release any tension. We're going to follow this now with a forward bend. So basic forward bend. So I'm not going to ask you to fall down in a half because we can only work with, it's a lot to do with our hamstrings. It all connects to our lower back, upper back. So let's just, you can use a block if you want to. Raise our arms. Bring the palms together, and then we're going to take them apart and swan dive, leading with the chest, with your heart. Bringing your hands, you can, if you're using a block, you can place it on a block. So what we're doing, we're softening our knees, so there's no pressure on your lower back. So therefore, this pose is available for anyone. So if you soften your knees, then you're able to place your hands down. So everyone is different. Soften your knees as much as you need to. So you can place your palms in front of you, maybe on a block if you're using a block. You can place them to the side, there's different variation. Or you can even place them at the back of your ankles. So bring the chest closer towards your knees, so your head and neck is relaxed. And then bringing your hands forward. So we're going to come here from a forward bend to a halfway lift. So we're going to slide our hands through our feet, through our shins, towards our knees. So we're going to lift the heart. So lifting the chest from the mat. So what we're aiming for, a nice straight spine, right from the hip area, right to the crown of our head. So this is also opens the hip area. Where your back is nice and straight, shoulders back down. So what we don't want is this, where your back is arched. So soften the knees as much as you need to. From here, we're going to exhale back down. So to a forward bend, so placing our hands down. And as we inhale, we take our arms to the side, lead with our heart. We're going to come up. Raise our palms up to a prayer pose and bring it back into our heart center. So let's do this one more time, the flow of raising our arms as we inhale. And then exhale, swan dive, arms wide apart, bringing them back down to a forward bend. So make sure you soften your knees so there's no pressure on your lower back. We're going to inhale, sliding our hands towards our knees, lift the heart, lift the chest, straight back. Exhale, back down. And then raise our arms, lead with the heart, using our core strength as well, placing our palms to an upward salute and back to our heart center. Okay, so that's it for standing postures. Let's move on to, we're going to come to the mat. So back to a tabletop. We're going to attempt the downward dog. So it's an inverted posture. It's a posture that might take you a while to master, but that's what yoga is all about. So that's why it's important to really spread our fingers. So this down from the shoulders, try not to bring them too close together, because then when we lift, we actually have no space for the head and neck. So the thumb should be on the beginning of your shoulder. Knees hip apart. We're going to take the knees back in about a couple of inches back. Curl our toes under. We're going to lift the hips. Keep the knees bent and then release. Let's try this again. Lift, straight spine, keep the knees soft, bent, and then release. Again, press the balls of your feet and lift the hips to the sky, lengthen through the spine. So what we're aiming for, a nice V shape. So again, if your hamstrings are tight, if you straighten your legs, you'll end up with the back being really arched. So what we want to really lengthen through the spine, keeping the knees soft, so you can have this nice straight line in your spine. So what we do when we externally rotating our upper arms, so we bring the shoulder blades in the back of our rib cage, so spreading, creating a space for the head and neck to be loose and look down towards our feet. We don't want to be sinking into our limbs. We want to lengthen. Now with our knees being soft, we can just gently paddle, walking dog, alternative knee towards the center. So keeping attention on our breathing and the core engaged. You can always come back to a tabletop. It can be quite challenging if you haven't done it before. And then lengthening through the spine, through the back of your legs, maybe slightly bringing the heels a little bit closer towards the mat if you can. But keep the knees soft if the hamstrings are tight, so your back is nice and straight. And then release it back down to your knees. Come to a child's pose. So you can take your knees wider apart if you want to. You can cross your arms. Rest the forehead down. You can take your arms back if you prefer. So this is a nice resting pose. Okay. Right, so we're coming from here. We're going to come to our belly on our front. So you can take your hands a little bit further forward. Again, not too close together to the edge of the mat. So allow your body to come down through a back bend. We come into a Sphinx pose. So we're going to rest on our forearms. Make sure that, again, they're not too close together. So resting, so the elbow is straight down from your shoulder. You can spread the fingers. Anchor your hips down towards the mat. Keep your feet hip apart. And then keep, with the inhalation, lengthen through the spine, lift the heart. So what we're doing, we're not just sitting there supported, we're lengthening through the spine. So you can feel that you're lifting the heart away from the mat. So you're minimizing the pressure on your forearms. Keep lifting the chest with the inhalation and then just slowly relaxing a little bit with exhalation. Keep lifting. And then release. Lift again. And then release. Lift one more time with inhalation. And then release. You can lower down. Rocking your hips from side to side. Place your hands a little bit further down, so underneath, around the rib cage, underneath your shoulders. Rest on your chin. Draw your shoulders back down, away from your ears. We're going to try a cobra pose, so it's a back bend. Works the strength of your lower back. Again, if you have a problem with your back, this might be quite difficult for you. So you can maybe just stay with the Sphinx pose. So let's try. Going to inhale and lift just the upper back. So we just come to a maybe baby cobra, not lifting too high. Just make sure the shoulders stay down, away from your ears. So the strength comes from your lower back. Don't have to lift very high. Anchor the hips down. Exhale to release. Inhale again. Shoulders back down. Reach with the heart. And then slowly release. Cross your arms in front of you. Rest the forehead down and just gently rock the hips from side to side. And then place your hands a little bit lower underneath the shoulders and see if you can push with your hands through a back bend. Keep your belly really strong. Lift to a tabletop and then bring forward your knee and just swing onto a seated posture. So basic seated posture, Dandasana. Again, the same as we were doing standing. If your hamstrings are really tight, then you will keep the back of your knees away from the mat, or you can use a wedge, a blanket. I know this is only a small cushion, but just to give you an idea. So to raise the sit bone slightly. I know that's not going to make a much difference, but if you wedge a blanket a little bit thicker, then can you see what's happening? So what we want, really nice straight back. We don't want the legs straight and rounded spine. We want to straight low back. So if you need to soften the knees, if your hamstrings are really tight, then soften your knees. Inhale and raise your arms. Exhale and reach with your hands to wherever you can reach. So folding from the hip area with the low back nice and straight. Ease the chest forward. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you are here, you think it's not much happening, that's fine. If you're a little bit lower, to keep the spine, the low back nice and flat. You could rest onto your forearms. Maybe everyone is different. We'll just take it really easy. Let's Let's walk our hands back. Let's try this one more time. Raise our arms, so lengthen through the spine. And then fold from the hips. Reaching with your hands to wherever you can reach, maybe the shin area. You can place it on the side of your legs on a mat. Keep your lower back nice and flat. So your knees might be a little bit more bent than mine. And then slowly walk your hands back. Going to come to our back now for a bridge pose. So placing your feet hip apart, so the feet are straight down from your knees, but still hip apart. So make sure if your feet are too close and then you lift to a bridge, then you're putting pressure on your knees. Can you see? If they're too far, putting pressure on your lower back. So it's ideal to have them straight down from the knees, hip apart. Extend your arms, place the palms of your hands flat. And then with the next inhalation, lift the tailbone. Start lifting the hips, slowly pressing through your knees as you lift the hips to a bridge pose. Your arms are there to support the posture. Try not to look up in this posture. The back of your neck is lengthening, so the chin comes slightly towards the chest. So this also works on your thyroid. Just take a few slow, deep breaths. And then slowly descend. Start bringing the spine from the top, your upper back, through the middle of your back, slowly to your hips, are touching the mat. Let's do this one more time. Lift the tailbone, lift the hips, press through your feet and raise the hips. Keep your arms firmly down on the mat, palms of your hands flat. And back of your neck long. And then slowly start descending from your upper back, bringing the spine down through the middle as the hips are coming down last. Take the feet a little bit further back and a little bit wider to the edge of the mat. You can take your arms away from your body to a T shape and then just bring the knees to the side. Opposite side, so stretching through the hip flexor. Opposite side. Back to the center. Bring the knees towards the chest, press them towards your chest, and then extend your legs. So again, if your hamstrings are tight, your knees will be bent. Reach with your hand towards your right leg. So lower the left leg back with control slowly. So resting your hands on your leg, try not to lift the shoulders off the mat. If you find it challenging to keep the leg straight, the other leg, just soften the knee slightly. And then slowly bring your knee towards the chest, press towards the chest, pressing the hip towards the mat. Raise your leg again, and then just slowly, with control, lower the leg down. Raise the opposite leg. Walk your hands. You can soften the other knee. Again, bend the left knee, press towards the chest. And then extend. And then slowly lower your leg down. And we're going to lift our right leg. And we're going to use our core strength. So raise the opposite leg. And we can do this with single legs or both legs. Maybe placing our hands underneath your body, underneath your buttocks, and then just lowering your legs, rather single or double. Using our core strength, so bringing the belly in. Maybe not all the way down, just hover above the mat. Bring the back. Raise the legs back. And then slowly lower them down with control again. Not all the way down. And raise both legs. Or you can do this always with a single leg if it's too challenging. Reach with both hands towards your shins. Lengthen through the spine. Try not to lift the shoulders, just rest your hands to wherever they can reach. Maybe circle and point, or point your feet. Flex and point. Bring your knees towards the chest. Press them towards your chest again. Wrap your arms around your knees. Gently sway from side to side. And then just extend your left leg all the way back. You can keep the knee slightly bent. Then extending your right arm away from your body, placing your left hand on the outside of your knee. Bring the knee across, twisting from your lower back, applying a little bit of pressure. And then slowly release. Extend the leg all the way back down. Bring the opposite knee towards the chest, press towards your chest. As you extend your opposite arm, place your hand on the outside of your knee. You can lower your knee a little bit further down if it's too challenging, and take it across your body, twisting from your lower back. Or lower your knee down a little bit and place your hand on your upper hip, upper thigh. And then slowly release back to the center. Extend your legs. Bring them a little bit wider than hip apart. Rock your hips from side to side. Gently allow your thighs and toes roll out, feet roll out with gravity. Lift arms and place them along the side of your body. Let the palms face the sky. Take a nice deep breath. And then exhale through your open mouth. Let go of any tension. Inhale one more time. And then release. And bring your attention to your right leg. tense, maybe lift an inch or so from the mat, and then release. Tense your left leg, and then release. Bring the tension towards the hips. Maybe clench your buttocks and maybe lift the hips slightly. And then release. Bring the tension along the spine. Press the shoulders down, puff up the chest, tighten your abdomen. Then exhale and release. Shrug the shoulders towards your ears. And then release them back down towards your hips. Make fist with your hands, maybe lift, tense, and then release. Tighten your facial muscles, make a small face, and then release. Then gently sway your head from side to side. Keep your eyes closed and scan your body for any tension. And then release. Bring your attention to your breath. Just slowly start making little movements with your feet, maybe your fingers, your hands, or maybe stretch your entire body. And then slowly roll into the right side with your feet. Is it finished? Is it kick? Oh, okay. Knees bent to a fetus position. And then slowly supporting yourself with your right hand, make your way to a seated pose with your legs crossed. Bring the arms forward to a prayer pose, lengthen through the spine as you inhale, and then exhale. Namaste. Thank you very much.